Hey, this episode is brought to you by Omaze. Go to omaze.com/gameranks to find out more. Hey folks, today is Friday, March 12th, 2021. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game stuff that has been going on this week. We're still in the process of settling into our new spot, so pardon our dust, or maybe it doesn't sound right or it doesn't look right. We're working on it. We're amateurs. There's a lot of video game news to talk about this week, so let's get you guys caught up. Bunch of stuff. The first story, you probably guess what we're going to talk about. It is Xbox and Bethesda. As we said at the end of last week, this deal is now officially done, signed. The ink is dry. The SEC has approved it. It's approved throughout the world. Xbox officially owns ZeniMax Media and Bethesda and everything that comes with that. This deal is unprecedented. It's huge. As we talked about a couple months ago, this is just like $7.5 billion. Dollars.
A lot of dollars.
That's so many dollars. There's been a raging debate about whether or not Bethesda games are going to go exclusively to Xbox platforms just because of how Xbox has treated other things in the past. Now we have a little bit more of a clear direction where they're going because Bethesda and Xbox hosted kind of like a roundtable video with all the leadership. Pete Hines from Bethesda and of course, Phil Spencer from Xbox. Big Phil. Did I say Xbox? So what I'm going to do right now with this is I'm going to give you his quotes directly, and then we'll go through them. Phil Spencer said, I'm going to try and be as clear as I can because that's what I just think is fair. So obviously, I can't just sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support these games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players. We love these communities. We're going to invest in them. This is, of course, I think him talking about what we've already known, deals that are already in place, like PlayStation stuff with Deathloop and the fact that the Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76 exist on other platforms. It seems like that's going to continue. He goes on to say, though, even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go do. But if you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. This, along with just like the overall fanfare of the announcement, the marketing, the images showing both Xbox characters and Bethesda characters together, are leading a lot of people to believe that this is Xbox moving towards formalizing exclusivity. But I think that it is still vague. I think that they are being intentionally vague about it because this deal has literally just been signed. So legally, they're only in the early stages of making these decisions. Anyway, Phil Spencer has said months back when this first went down, case-by-case basis. Now they're being a little bit more direct and a little bit more realistic about this. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think. People are still arguing about this either way. I think we'll know for sure once they start asking for our money for pre-orders or building up hype for whatever the next game is, be it Starfield, something like that. Because honestly, I'm just here for the ride. I play on a lot of platforms. I play on PC. I know these things are still going to be on PC, which is nice. I'm still just reflecting on how massive this freaking deal is for a company to buy up something that has so many properties, years of history, legacy, ancient games like id Software, Doom, up to the heavy hitters like Fallout, Elder Scrolls. It's nuts. So, of course, we'll keep you guys posted on stuff like this. And if you are playing on Xbox, like 20 new Bethesda games have been added to Game Pass, including the Elder Scrolls Morrowind, one of my favorite games of all time. You now officially have less of an excuse. Go play it. I said this on Twitter, but it has aged like gross soup. But we like soup. Moving on over to some interesting PlayStation news, because contrary to what some commenters would let you believe, we talk about everything here. A water-cooled PlayStation 5 exists now. Somebody made this in all its glory. It's pretty wild. So Video Games Chronicle reports that a Vietnamese modder has spent 2 months building this custom loop water-cooled PlayStation 5, where he essentially had to take the entire thing apart and custom construct an entirely new housing for the console. And damn, man, this thing is impressive. Just look at this. We're going to link this in the description, of course, as well as all the other stories we talk about this week, just so you know. But this is pretty sweet. I love seeing what lengths people will go to do cool stuff with the hobby that we love so much. The interesting thing about this custom hardware maker guy is that he says that they are going to try and make this stuff commercially available, available for purchase. And I say, good luck with that. This has not worked out well in the past. Even so recently with people trying to sell modded PlayStation 5s that are different colors. Sony's been coming down hard, so best of luck. If you were able to, though, would you buy a custom water-cooled PlayStation 5? Honestly, it'd be nice to just buy a PlayStation 5 in general, considering they're still like sold out everywhere. But name your price. Would you do it? I'd love to hear from you. Now, in other news, some businessy type big boy news. Where my stock market boys at? Roblox is now officially on the stock market. There was an IPO this week, and it has performed above expectations. It was set at roughly $45, and it's been sitting at around 69, nice, up to like 73 or so. The market value is like $39 billion. It's insane, this powerhouse that Roblox is. As someone who honestly barely knows what it is, other than just like what my younger siblings tell me, because they all play this, but it is absolutely massive. And it is video games, so I wanted to point it out just because I do find it so freaking fascinating. Hey, next up, this episode is brought to you by Omaze. They're heavily involved in the gaming world, and they're working with Gamers Outreach. Donate $10 to them, and you are entered for the chance to win $20,000 towards your dream PC gaming setup. Think of the possibilities. You know, awesome new huge monitors, maybe a great sound setup, more RAM than you could ever even know what to do with, infinite storage. The possibilities are really endless here. And with supporting Gamers Outreach, it goes to a great cause. Gamers Outreach provides recreation to children in hospitals through the power of gaming and the gaming community. Straight up, hospitals can feel like scary or lonely places for kids going through treatment, so Gamers Outreach provides medical-grade gaming kiosks that they call go-karts. They're really awesome, and they can provide some fun and joy to kids going through treatment. We've talked about this in the past, how important this stuff is. These go-karts can cost quite a bit of money to get to the hands of children, so Gamers Outreach needs your help. So to potentially win a $20,000 gaming setup of your dreams and support Gamers Outreach, go to omaze.com/gameranks. Once again, that's omaze.com/gameranks, and thanks to Omaze for sponsoring our videos. In other news, another newsy, businessy type thing I'll link in the description is the February NPDs are out. If you want to see those physical game sales and what they're at, it's pretty much what you'd expect with Call of Duty being close to the top. Number 1 is actually Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, of course. Interestingly enough, number 3, Persona 5 Strikers, only being available for a few weeks. That shows the power of Persona. It's pretty nuts. But something I just wanted to point out, something I like to see at number 6, Little Nightmares 2. Love to see it. Great game, smaller game. Nice to see that people are buying it and seemingly enjoying it. Again, it's the NPDs. It tracks all game sales, digital and some physical. So if you want to check it out, link below, man. But some things to get caught up on, some things to look forward to next week. March 18th, Square Enix is hosting a big live stream event, almost like a Square Enix Nintendo Direct, which is something I don't really think I ever wanted. But anyway, they've kind of been transparent about this, saying what they're going to be talking about. Yada, yada, yada. Outriders stuff, some Tomb Raider stuff, Marvel's Avengers, the Just Cause mobile game. But interestingly enough, they've come out and said straight up that they're announcing a completely new Life is Strange game. So that's something to look forward to if you're a fan of that series. So that's a thing. 10 a.m. PDT, March 18th. It's about 40 minutes or so. But next week, there's also a Japanese PlayStation event. I don't think this one is going to technically make as big of a splash, but Sunday, March 21st, in Japan, there is going to be a live stream Sony event highlighting specifically the PlayStation 5 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake and the intergrade content, like that new add-on content that is coming with it. And also, they're going to be highlighting Resident Evil Village. So maybe keep your ear to the ground because we might get some new tidbits of information about those games. But in other news, an interesting story I wanted to talk about that almost feels like real news, like a real news story about like a devastation or a disaster, but in video game form. So essentially, one of Rust's main server facilities has had a fire, leading to 25 EU servers being down, and the company confirming that thankfully nobody who worked at this facility passed away, but all players are losing all of their data. So Rust, most servers typically, like at the end of the month, they wipe, but apparently, for like custom servers, people with their own rule sets, they might have really amazing stuff built up, and now they lost everything. That sucks, man, to put a lot of time into a game and lose it all. Something like Valheim, you built like an entire city in Valheim. What if that just disappeared overnight? Would you be sad?
I'd be devastated.
Yeah. So our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to Rust players out there. But the fire is terrible. Thankfully, everybody's okay. Sucks for the company. If you are a Rust player and you lost your data, We'd love to hear your story. Let us know in the comments how you're coping, man. Also, just breaking news, Dying Light just tweeted out that they are going to be sharing new news about their game. Next week, the 17th, Dying Light. Hopefully we'll hear something new about it. Hopefully they say that the game's coming soon, but I'm willing to wait if they make it good, of course. But in other news, a couple little quick videos I wanted to link in the description down below. Apex Legends is out for Switch, and GameSpot did a really good little comparison of the PC version and the Switch version. Some people aren't happy with the Switch performance, but I don't know what you expect with stuff like this. Still, it's a good watch if you want to check that out. That is linked in the description, as well as a trailer for new DLC for The Outer Worlds. It's kind of like a murder mystery. It's going to give you new perks and flaws, new armor sets, and new quests. It's releasing on March 17th, 2021, and following up from last year's Outer Worlds DLC, it's probably going to be pretty good. This game has kind of been like an RPG that has kept on giving. But last but certainly not least, I'm so happy about this, excuse me. We're getting a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up brawler style game called TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Now, we've had some hit and miss Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games in the past, but this one looks very much in the style of those games that a lot of us grew up loving with Ninja Turtles. Not only that, it's being published by Dotemu, or Dotemu, I don't know how to say it, but they are most recently behind Streets of Rage 4, which I thought was an incredible brawler and one of my favorite games of 2020, so I think it's at least in some good hands. And it just looks like a good blend of new and old with the right amount of nostalgia, but some good gameplay thrown in. I'm really excited to see more of this if you can't tell. I linked a trailer in the description down below because it also has like this cool, almost anime style animated intro, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song is done by Mike Patton, which is insane. So cool. But that's all the news this week. I wanted to end on like a cool note, something that we hope is good. Yay. Let's talk about everything down in the comments, though. I want to hear from you guys. Of course, the biggest thing everybody's going to be talking about is the Xbox exclusivity Bethesda thing. Do you think it's 100% exclusive? Do you think the next Starfield, do you think the next Elder Scrolls is going to be only on Xbox and PC? Let's talk about this stuff. Keep it civil. Console wars are played out, man. I just want to hear from you what you think. Also, with Dying Light announcing something next week, what do you think they're going to say? Do you think they're going to say, hey, it's delayed until 2022? Also, would you buy a water-cooled PS5? Would you buy one because you're just desperate to find a PS5? Let's talk about anything going on in video games this week down in the comments. I want to hear from you. We'll be in the comments, but they do get a little hectic sometimes, so if you want to yell at me directly, of course, you can always find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino and youtube.com/Jake Baldino, my other channel. But thank you guys for coming around. You know, clicking the like button legit helps this show. If you like getting caught up on the news throughout the week, thank you. Thanks for being here. But it's also worth saying that if you're new here, consider clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But I'm Jake Baldino. Catch me on the Friday show here every week on the Before You Buy videos. See you guys next time. Pizza's on me.